Be good is her name. And I sing my lion song and brush my mane. She would, and she could. So she pulled my lion's tail and caused me pain. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. You dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. She knows what she does when she dances round my cage and says her name. Be good, be good. Be good is her name. I trim my lion's claws and I cut my mane. And I would if I could, but that woman treats me the same. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. You dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. Does she know what she does when she dances around my cage? Be good is her name. I sing my lion song, brush my mane, and she would if she could. So she pulled my lion's tail and caused me pain. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. Dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. Does she know what she does when she dances around my cage? Is her name. I trim my lion's claws and I cut my mane, and I would if I could, but be good treats me the same. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. You dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. Does she know what she does when she dances around my cage? She dances around my cage. Does she know? Does she know? Be good, be good, be good, be good.
I love this round of applause. That was really cute. Okay, sound effects. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful, lovely Saturday. It's even more beautiful because we're all here together celebrating. My name is Essence Gant, and I am a journalist, personality, and host. And today, I will be the host of the I Dream of premiere party. Now, this is a really, really special occasion as I have had the pleasure of going to undergrad, Albany State University, with the creator, Nashasta, as well as some other people that you will see later on today. Mia, one of the executive producers, as well as Patrice, the writer. So this is really just a full circle moment, reuniting 13 years later with my fellow Golden Rams. Also, shouts out to all Albany State alum tuning in. I see some of you already. So hello, hello, hello. Nice to see y'all again. Now, this Dream Machine series was co-authored by Nashasta Wright. She published these books with her children so that they could see themselves, which is extremely powerful. We all know that representation really does matter. And it also allowed her children to have early access to entrepreneurship. Okay, so they're already light years ahead of many of us, which is what it's all about, making sure the next generation is better off than we are. So we love that. Hand clap, snaps all around in the comments for Nashasta and her family. And we really want to get the word out there. So please, 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 it's important that we support Black authors, support Black children, support Black business. There's so much overlap here, so many ways to support. So go to Nashasta's announcement post and tag Netflix and Hulu. We are dropping the link in the comments right now. So please go ahead, click that, support, tag Netflix, tag Hulu, and just make sure that we take this moment and maximize it as much as possible. Now, before we continue, I would like to introduce the incredible team behind I Dream of, the Dream Team, if you will. So we have first our creators, Nashasta Wright and the Wright family.
Hi!
Hey, y'all. Hey, kids. Y'all looking cute. Okay, with the all white. It's really giving. Hi. Oh, my God. It's so precious.
Thank you.
Welcome. We have our executive producers, Damian Taylor and Mia Francois. Hi, Damian. Hi, Mia. We also have Kevin, our creative director. What up, Kevin? Looking like a creative director in the big chair with the headphones. And then we have Patrice Azaler, who is the writer.
Hey.
Hey, matching ring. Hey, twin. That's what's up. And last, we have our international contributors who are not here, but we could not have done this without them. That is Kat Bareka, the illustrator, and also Attila Ergin, the animator. So this was truly an effort. This is your dream team. Thank you all so much for pouring your love and passion into this project so that we could see ourselves, and just we're also very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are going to actually play the episode so you all will be able to see them at home. But before we do that, I do want to ask Shay and Damien specifically a few questions. So Shay, I'm going to start with you, and I want to know what inspired you to create the book and show, and who is this really for?
Yes, so my children inspired me to create the book. So I would go to their daycares when I'm picking them up, and I would never see any books with children of color in them. So I'm like, we have to change that. We have to make sure, we're promoting and letting our children see themselves on the books, on the big screen, and things like that. So that was the reason. They're my motivation. Children are so creative when it comes to learning. Children have so many different learning styles. So making the book creative, making it fun, making it colorful, and something that they can actually be drawn to because they see themselves. So that was the number one reason why and what inspired me to create the book originally.
Amazing. And Damien, what about you? Can you tell me a little bit about your goal for this show? And also, I understand that we have some beta tests with these 3 episodes. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so these 3 are beta tests. We wanted to understand what kids like the most. And so we decided to, instead of just throwing stuff at the wall, we'll take 3 different episodes and put them up there and let the kids pick what do they like most, right? I mean, because to Shay's point, this was really about the kids. Like, it was inspired by Shay's kids, my son, any little brown kid who's been out there. I wanted to make sure that they had something, but I also wanted to make something that they liked and felt a part of versus me telling them what they should like.
Amazing. We love that. And I had the pleasure of seeing the content actually last night. And when I say representation, you all nailed that. Everyone involved, like Illustrator, the voice, everything. Also, shouts out to the girl character because she had Afro puffs like me. So yes, I also felt seen. It was very much giving. And without further ado, we are going to take a peek at the first episode, I Dream of Being a Computer Coder.
Are you excited to come to work with me today? I'm up. Dad, why do you work so early? Early? I'm usually in my 3rd meeting by now.
Okay. Hair is combed, teeth are brushed, faces are clean, and my first meeting is in 17 minutes?
We should get going. Son, just move the plate.
Go to work with mommy.
You don't want to see daddy at work making video games? Video games?
No, that's boy stuff.
Girls play video games too. In fact, some of the best programmers on my team are girls. Amina, you have to give daddy a chance. I know you'll have a good time.
Okay.
That's my girl. We're here. Kids, this is LaDonna, one of our best programmers.
Hi, Amina. Hi, Princeton.
Hi.
OMG, I love your shoes.
Thanks.
Well, I have to go, but it was great finally meeting you.
I could get used to this.
Oh no, it seems like someone's code isn't compatible with the engine we're running. This could take a while to fix. What game is this? It's all numbers and letters. Where's all the people and buildings? This is what all games look like underneath all the people and buildings. This is coding. With coding, I can do many things. Create programs, games, websites, apps, and even animations. So you don't play games all day? No, champ. I don't play games all day. My job is to create new code, review other people's code, and make sure everything works. And then I play video games. Awesome! Hey, how about when I finish with this, we all play the new secret, Crash Test Frenzy.
That's my favorite game. This is so much fun. Can I come to work with you every day?
That's going to be a mom question. But if you study really hard and get good grades, you'll have a job here.
I'm so glad this isn't boring boy stuff.
It was so good. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. And it also took me back. I'm sure those, the adults who are tuning in, it has like a nostalgic effect too, because I remember growing up and then going, we had the take your kid to work day with our parents or whatever. And so I love this series because it's very nostalgic for us adults, but then it's also really good for the children. So many points were hit. For one, I think that there actually is underrepresentation of Black people in STEM, science, tech, engineering, math, professions. And so I think it's really cool that you all opened up that world so that kids could even know that that dream is a possibility. If you want to be, a coder, or if you want to work in video gaming, these are real jobs. And I think that at least when I was growing up, it wasn't always presented that way. You didn't even know that it was an option. So tell me about, I guess, the intentionality behind that. Why exactly did you all choose to make computer coder one of the dream jobs?
Who wants to go first? Shay? Kevin?
I think it should be you because
Yeah.
you're in the program. Why not?
For me, my son he loves math and he loves just engineering stuff, which is since he was really little, he just wants to learn about how it works. He watches physics videos. Like, he's way more smart and nerdy than I could have been at 6 years old. And so I wanted him to see stuff that represented like what he does and what he likes, and he can see that, yeah, I could do this. Like, he loves to watch stuff about astronauts, and so we'll see something about that later. I wanted to make sure that kids saw that there's more than just, I want to be a fireman, which is nothing wrong with that. They could do that too, but he gets a lot of that. I wanted him to see the other things that he could do with what he enjoys.
Absolutely. I love that. As you were talking about your son, you were like, he watches physics videos. In my mind, I started singing, he's a smart guy. Y'all remember that song? That's what I envision, like Taj Mowry just,
I think in our community too, like, we highlight, which is also nothing wrong. Like, we get out of like difficult living situations through a ball or singer. Now, like, I want to be a YouTube influencer, but there's so many other things that options that you can explore, and I think it's really important. And I don't even have kids. I have like 2 plants, and they strong Black women. They own this house. But growing up, I wish I would have known all of the options to like press a few more buttons, turn a few more knobs to see like what works, especially when you think about like the wealth gap and what that means as we're moving forward to the future, to give children the options to explore specifically Black and brown children.
Yes, and shouts out to everyone in the comments engaging. Please engage. We will have a moment towards the end where we do some Q&A, so drop your questions. We have a lot of STEM fans. Ashley Sloan says STEM with the clap emojis. First episode was great. Thank you so much, Smooth and Move. Joy of Autumn said, well said, Mia. I agree. And we are going into the second episode, which is I Dream of Being an Astronaut.
Are we there yet?
Not yet. Don't worry, we'll be there very soon. And then we can play space tag with the aliens.
Space tag? Space tag? We're gonna play space tag.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It was an accident.
Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, Amina, I think I could really use your help.
Really?
Yes, if you steer the ship, I can stop the alarm.
Preston, we're here. You have to land the ship.
I'm a little busy. I know you can do it.
But
I believe in you. Ay, 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 that thing was annoying.
Hold on to something.
You did it!
I did. You're the best astronaut ever.
You know what's better than an astronaut?
What?
Amina, Princeton.
Yes, Mom?
Just wanted to check in on the two cutest astronauts. Would it be okay if your father and I threw on some spacesuits and ate with you?
Yeah.
Babe, why are you doing the robot?
Come on. We all know there's robots in space.
So good. I love the episode so much. Also, the stakes were high. I was over here sweating. I was like, okay, girl, we got to get it, honey. We got to get it. I thought that episode was really, really cute. I also love the sibling, just like how they're bonding, how they're getting along. And then we saw them a little bit bantering in the backseat in the first episode. This episode, they're thick as thieves, which I feel like is very much true to reality. If you have siblings, I have 3. 1 second you fight in, the next second that's your homie and you can comfort them, but nobody else better not comfort them. So I just love how real this is on all fronts. I also think it's great that we see Amina, who is a little Black girl, so involved in this as well, because we're talking about representation. We're talking about how, Black people are underrepresented in STEM, but also when you go to Black women, that's a whole other layer of it. So I love that you have this young girl. She could be playing with, dolls and cookware, and nothing would be wrong with that. That would be fine too. But I think sometimes when we're telling the stories of girls and women, it's very one-dimensional. So I, for one, just appreciate how Amina was like, Easy Bake is cute, but we about to get into this space. So shout out to you all for this. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this episode?
I'm glad you put it on the girls. Go Kevin, because we talked about that a lot. We wanted that to be really big, like to make sure women were represented. Kevin will give you the details on how we got there, because Kevin and Patrice did an amazing job writing this.
Yeah, so this was the first one that I wrote. This one I was like the most attached to, I would say. But one of my biggest inspirations for this episode was actually Rugrats. If you remember, like watching the Rugrats back in the day, like they'd be immersed in their own realities, and then you see they're just in like a tunnel underneath the park, like in the bridge or just something. And so I really took that and I kind of ran with it, and I think we got like a really cool result. Like all kids think about astronauts, and it's like one of those careers that like every kid growing up has said, yeah, that's something I could do. But I think to really apply it and like to actually make it fun and not as like, educate. It's still educational, but not like overly educational. Still like play into the fantasy of it.
I love that so much. And yes, shouts out to Rugrats. Shouts out to Susie. Okay. The Black girl on Rugrats. I love that. And I love the inspiration behind that. And it is to, I think we talked about this a little bit earlier with the first episode. There's so much nostalgia and I'm enjoying it. I don't have kids either. I'm like Mia. I got one plant and it's fake. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, so like it's nothing alive in this house except for me, but I am really loving this content. So you all are just doing an incredible job. I want to go to the comments a little bit. Joy of Autumn said Susie with the heart. Dominique Adams said so dope. Definitely took me back to being a kid, dreaming of being anything. Yes, and I think that's so important too, which we see in the series is that like the sky is the limit. You can do absolutely anything that you want to do. DW Retro said Cartoon Network should pick this one up. The show is great. I agree. We claim it. Y'all tag Cartoon Network too. Netflix, Hulu, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, tag everybody. Okay. Oprah, Beyonce. And now we are going to our last episode, the Alphabet Safari.
friends, it's Amina. I hope you guys are ready for an adventure. Today, we're going to learn all about the letter A. Do you know what sound the letter A makes? That's right. The letter A says ah. A for Amina. A for adventure. I almost forgot. This is my friend, Gigi, the giraffe. She lives here.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm so excited to see you all. Let's get going. We have so much to see.
First stop, alligators.
Oh, look. A is for alligator. Be very careful, Amina. You're not supposed to stand on the fence. You could slip and fall.
You're right. I was so excited that I forgot.
Always remember, safety first, even when we're having fun.
Got it. Safety first. Gigi, did you know that alligators are reptiles?
I sure did. Did you know they also live in groups?
Like a family?
That's right. Animals have families too.
Gigi, what are these? They look like deer. Are they deer?
Close, but not quite. These animals are called antelopes.
A for antelope.
You got it.
Those are really big horns he has.
Yes, they are. Antelopes use their horns for protection.
Protection?
Yes, to protect them from danger.
Look, it's ants. A for ants.
Right again, Amina. Those are ants.
Hi, ants.
Amina, I don't think they can hear you.
Why not? I'm right here.
Because ants don't have ears.
What are they doing now?
Looks like they're preparing for dinner.
I think I want to do that too. Can we have a snack?
Of course. Let's go. What are you eating, Amina?
An apple. A for apple.
Great choice. Apples are really healthy for your body.
Thank you so much for visiting the Wild Animal Safari with me today. I hope you learned as much as I did. See you next time.
Another great episode. That was just so beautiful. That was so good. I really, really like this episode too. We took a little turn. So we were, into careers. Now we're learning, we're doing alphabets. And okay, so I just personally believe no cartoon is ever complete without an animal sidekick. So shouts out to our friend Gigi, the giraffe. I love that because I feel like that's just like mandatory in every Disney movie, cartoon, whatever it is. Shouts out to Gigi the giraffe. And I also think that there was just a lot of lessons kind of packed into one. We talked about alphabets, pronunciation, safety when Amina was on the fence. We learned facts about the actual animals, and kids are such sponges. They absorb everything. So packing in that much information is really cool because they have the opportunity to learn multiple things at once. Also, I just learned that ants don't have ears. I don't know why I didn't know that before, but I'm already learning. Thank you, I Dream. Okay, because I did not know that. What was the process like, the research process specifically for this episode? Because you guys incorporated a lot of facts. So whoever wants to take that on, whoever wrote this episode.
I guess I'll answer that one. I wrote that one. For me, I'm a mom as well. I have 3 kids. So I use every opportunity as a learning tool, like especially in real life, because kids are like the cartoon said, like you said, they're sponges. So whenever it's something that you can impart that is easy enough for them to take in, that's what I try to do. Like the giraffe is fun, going to the zoo is fun. But when I was doing the research, I was like, ants don't have ears?
Yeah.
So now we're teaching the kids and we're teaching the parents. It was so much fun because
I love animals, kids love animals, and then they love to eat, they love to be outside. It's just so much stuff that you can incorporate. And then with trying to get screen time for different cartoons and anytime like on filmmaking, any of that, you need to have something that can have continuance. So if we're starting at the beginning of the alphabet, we can learn a world of stuff by the time we get to Z. So it's like A, all this stuff, B, all this stuff, and just ongoing information that they can take and keep in. You don't even really notice you're learning. You're just like, oh, I'm watching cartoons, and then now, mommy, did you know ants don't have ears? So it was really fun and informative for me too.
I love that so much. Brittany Dent in the comments says, I'm loving every episode. You all are amazing. Georgia Peach says, the giraffe's name is Gigi. My granddaughter said, you are Gigi, not a giraffe. I'm sold. I love it so much. Smooth and Move. I like that it also incorporates learning. Absolutely. Joy of Autumn says that this was her favorite. And Dominique says, perfect educational resource. This would be great exploring each letter for children. I 1,000% agree.
I know when I first watched that episode, it took me back, and I don't know if this was intentional for Patrice, but to the Magic School Bus, because I grew up on that. And I specifically remember learning a lot about science accidentally, just because I was so entertained with the show. And when we first started to think about the show, we wanted educational pieces, but like it needed to be fun. And Loki was like, it has to be lit. Like music is a big thing. Like even as we like elevate, like how do we incorporate music when you think about like TikTok dances or like trending sounds? Like kids really catch on to all of these different elements of like sound and music and how they're absorbing things. But are there ways, like when we were growing up, like nursery rhymes are very Eurocentric. Like we don't necessarily connect, and that doesn't necessarily mean like we're underdeveloped as like a community or a people group as a whole, but we learn in different ways cognitively. So as we think about it, making sure like our children feel seen and heard in the ways that they learn. Like I've learned through like certain rap songs that they remix, or the church babies in here, the director of music is going to change the trap beat into Jesus real quick. So it's like, how can we incorporate elements of our culture in ways that children will connect with? It was really important to show.
I love that. It's just everything is so intentional, and it's for us, and it's for us unapologetically. It's in it. I like it because it's open. Anyone can watch it and you can take away from it, but it also puts our stories, our images, our narrative at the forefront, which is something that we didn't always have the luxury of having, especially, I'm 36. When I was a child, that was, very few and far in between. So I just love how intentional and purposeful everything about this series is. I hope every one of you watching at home enjoyed the episode. We are going to go into some Q&A, but first I want to remind you again, please share this series. You can find it on the Knowledge Bloom channel on YouTube. Share it with friends, family, teachers, daycares, aunties, cousins, neighbors, church friends, literally everyone that you know. Please make sure that you tag Netflix and Hulu on Shay's post. I believe that we can drop that in the chat, so you don't even have to scroll up. It's boom right there. Drop the link. And now a little Q&A with our lovely panel of creators, this amazing dream team. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and we can also ask your questions as well. So my first question is for Miss Mia Francois, who is an executive producer for this project. I want you to tell me a little bit about bringing everyone and everything together.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start by saying this, and if you've ever worked with me before, you've probably heard this a million times, is like, as a community, we talk about like, okay, you got to build your table or make a seat at the table. And there's so many wonderful people doing amazing things. And I think there's something to be said about like, what if we all like connected our tables and we have this one big table where we can all feast together and win? So everyone that was brought on, it was no interview process or anything like that. It's who knew who. So Jamie and I were creative partners, and we worked together on a few different things. And he came to me with the idea around like, I think I want to make a kids show. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so then we went around do we want to create content? I'm like, I'm sure there's amazing content already created. And then it just snapped. I saw Shay posting about her book that she wrote for her kids, and honestly wasn't sure if she was gonna do it, right? And as soon as I asked her, like I had like a whole little pitch prepared, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's cool. It's cool. Let's get it done." Kevin and I, we actually met in a panel, a random like this, and have been in touch ever since. Just as a beautiful creative mind. And then we needed a writer, another writer as well to work with Kevin, and Shay knew Patrice. And then Logic, who you see behind the screen, does a lot of production. So I've worked with him on that. And then Essence obviously is amazing as a host. So I think there's some beauty around like, the Issa Rae method of, you don't always have to knock on doors. There's a lot of people that are doing like great things, and you don't necessarily, we don't necessarily always have these powers and numbers, but when we put these tables together, it's actually bigger than what we think it could be. And I remember just a couple of weeks ago in our wrap here, about a week ago, I wrapped here, and I was like, how many people do you think, I was talking to Damien, how many people do you think are going to come? And I was like, I'm going to give it 10. And he was like, I think 100. And I'm like, clutch pearls, right? And last night, it was 130 of like our friends and family coming together, joining us in this moment. It's almost like a wedding of sort, right? Like bringing all of the families together. And now people are connected who probably didn't even know each other from this cartoon. So yeah, that was the process.
I love it. Shout out to everyone who RSVP too. We really appreciate the support. Shay, I want to ask you, because I think sometimes as parents, like you want to give your children opportunities, but then that can also be I don't want to say fearful process, but you're always battling like, okay, is it too much, too early? So what inspired you to allow your kids to become authors at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur myself, so I'm just always thinking about ways that they can naturally become an entrepreneur. So something that they're not like forced to do a job. So I've always noticed that Amina loves reading books. Princeton loves to draw. He likes to write. So like me putting those two together, I'm like, okay, well, you guys can just be authors. And then as you guys get older, you guys can start crafting your own books. So I feel like this is such a perfect fuse between entrepreneurship and fun, because I think the main thing is kids want to still have fun and use their imagination as they're getting older. So that was just like the perfect fuse, and they're really enjoying it. They like actually go to school and like write little books with their little pieces of paper and put it together, and they show me. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna put this on the shelves. So they're really, really excited, and they have their friends over now watching the show with them. So yeah, this is super duper exciting.
That is very exciting. We love a cool mom. Listen. Patrice, what do you think is needed in literature for children these days? Because you're a writer, and Kevin, you also wrote on this as well. So what do you all think is needed in literature for kids? What's missing?
In my opinion, what's needed the most is things they can relate to. I think, and by relate, I mean people that look like them, like us, because there's so many books I love to read. Before I was a writer, I was an avid reader. So I've read a lot of books, but my favorites are always the ones I can relate to. So I'm like, okay, if they're reading these books and they see people that look like them, talk like them, it's the same lingo, I think it's more relatable, is more comforting for little children. So just something relatable for sure.
Yeah, where they can see themselves.
I think for me, I would say like diversity of content, especially when you are looking at like the education system and how biased it is, and you learn that like Black kids aren't less smart. They just learn different ways, and this is not made for us. So I think it's really about like controlling our own narratives, pushing our own stories out there, and accepting our own content rather than just saying, oh, this is the new hot thing. Even though it may not be relevant to us, we still gravitate towards that because it's what the mainstream accepts. So really just giving our own a chance and really like pushing conversations that other people aren't having that are only relevant to us, or pushing conversations that we ignore.
I love that. I always say it's so important to be the expert and the authority on your own experience and your identity. And I feel like that's what you all are doing right now, creating this series. Damien, what do you plan on doing in the future with this series? Like, where do you see it going? What's, I guess, kind of like the dream for I Dream of?
Yeah, right now we're looking for distribution. So like that's why we're tagging Hulu, we're tagging Netflix. We're really looking for a place for this to have a home because it's bigger than what we're doing on YouTube right now, and we don't want to put a lot of money and effort into that on YouTube when we think it can do something so much bigger. So that's really where we're starting first. We're going to be posting more about it and let your friends know. Seriously, it really helps us a ton when you're telling it and sharing because then that shows that there's a demand and people want to watch this. And then when we walk into a room to negotiate, we can say, look, we have an audience. What we need is a place for them to see it. And that gives us a lot of leverage in that conversation.
Absolutely. So you all please remember share, 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 share. I'm gonna keep saying it. So keep sharing. We have a few questions in the comments. Smooth and Move says, will this series be dropping on YouTube? How do we tune in?
Yep, so it's already on YouTube. We can drop that link in the chat. It's on the Knowledge Bloom YouTube channel.
Yep.
We have the 3 episodes, but we don't have a full-blown series yet. We wanted to pause on that until we can find a partner so that we're not spending a lot of money when we could probably bring in somebody who can help us make it even bigger and get us a lot more capability and distribution. So please, again, like we were saying, share, share, share. Essence had it, and yeah, we can't wait, and we'll share the link on YouTube.
Amazing. Joy of Autumn says, for my ASU family, how was it reuniting and collaborating on this project? Hashtag potential realized. I know that's right. Who wants to kick that one off?
I'll answer it. I mean, it was so refreshing because I mean, obviously, like Mia said, when she hit me up and was like, "Hey, we want to kind of find somebody to do animation for a book," I'm like, "For sure! Like, this sounds great." Like, I had the book on the shelf, but I really like didn't have like a team behind me to be able to like make it come to life. So I've worked with Mia so many times. We're sorority sisters. So, that was an automatic yes for me. And then I love Damien's energy. So when we like originally came together, like our little trio, and then we brought the writers on, it was just like such a family. Like it was such a peaceful experience. It was such a like joyful experience. Everybody had respected each other's energy, respected each other's creativity. And it was amazing. Then Patrice, of course, like we've always been trying to get something off the ground. Like we've always been collaborating. Like I originally met her when I did her headshots for her book because she's an author. She's like an amazing author. So I was like, I have to bring you onto this project. And then Mia and Damien were like, yeah, for sure. So I think us coming together and just kind of like it being a no-brainer was just super genuine for me. So that's what my thing is.
When I start in any project with people, like I check like the flow, and this was one of the most easiest processes because there could be like a lot of red tape, even knowing like Shay wrote this book with her children. Like that has a personal aspect that you want to be able to honor and keep its integrity. Because yes, we want it to be big, but we also don't want to exploit children in a poor light as well. So there's also like this intentionality about doing well. Like our why was bigger than like we want a bunch of views to stream it because like this is her real family. I think just knowing Albany State sometimes it doesn't get recognized or the same way as like the big like Black HBCU Ivy Leagues, but there's so much talent in this room. Essence, Shay, Patrice, like, and just being able to come together. Whoever wrote Potential Realized, I hadn't heard that in years, and it's like, oh yeah, like just the foundation of there's just so much hidden talent, like truly hidden in plain sight, and it goes back to like putting the tables together. So it feels good to know that we can come together for something beautiful and make it bigger than any one of us could have ever imagined just by like holding hands and trying. This one thing to note about this project, it took us about a year to do because we funded it ourselves. Life happens, changing jobs, losing jobs. Most of the people on the team have kids. We got to pay our bills and things like that. But what I really appreciate about this project is we may have paused and taken a beat, taken our breath a little bit, but we never stopped. We saw it all the way to the cutting room floor. And there's so many dreams that don't get to be realized. So it's just an honor to be able to see it through and be able to show it to the world.
Amazing. We have another question. Jaira Lucas. This is for Patrice. Jaira says, how was it switching gears from writing urban romance to a children's cartoon? That is a big jump.
Oh, yes, it is. That question is a little scary. Okay, but for me, it was pretty easy. And I think it's because I'm a mom all day, 24/7. So writing something that I would want my kids to read was easy, because writing my urban books, I'm like, no, y'all don't need to read that. You know, they're busy at school telling everybody their mom's a writer and my mom's an author. And I'm like, but not those kind of books. Your friends can't read those, you know. But it was fairly easy. It was actually a little bit easier because script writing and book writing is totally different, and script writing actually takes less time. So being able to write a 300 to 400 page novel and then writing this script, it was like, okay, God, thank you for showing me I can do that. You know, it was a challenge for sure, because I tell everybody I don't want to write for kids. But then when I started, I'm like, thank you, Jesus, for real, because this was so cute and it was so fun. And my kids had such a time watching it. And it just made me feel good that they were finally able to see something that I did and be proud of it, you know, because they don't read the grown people stuff.
Yes, I love that so much. And now they get to be a part of, you know, something that you love to do, which is writing. Like they're a part of your world now without like restrictions or anything like that. So I think that that's super special. Wanda Lucas wants to know, being a creator is in a league of its own. How do y'all's ideas flow? I'm going to ask Kevin this as a creative director, and then after he answers, anyone else feel free to chime in. But Kevin, what's your, I guess, like creative process? How do your ideas come to you?
At the most inconvenient of times.
That's real.
I'll be driving and like have a melody in my head for a song, and then I have to like pull up my notes app, or I'll have to like pull up my voice memos on my phone. If you look through it, there's probably like 700 voice memos from all over the world, wherever I travel, just random melodies and lyrics. But yeah, my creative process is different. Like I don't really have one. Like I could literally be like at a computer all day trying to get something together and nothing comes. But the moment I step away and go get food because I'm tired and hungry, I have all the ideas in the world. So I wish it was a little more predictable, but there's really no process. It just hits you when it hits you, and you can't force it.
Yeah, and I feel like as a creative too, you're probably inspired by so many things, like just randomly, whether you're in, I was about to say bodega, but the corner store or like, wherever you are. So if y'all are on the highway and you see Kevin pulled over, he's writing a song. Okay, so there you go. Does anyone else want to chime in about their creative process, how they get ideas?
I love how Kevin said that, because we're all different. When we were talking, like even working together, we realized we're all different. Unlike everybody else, I'm super ridiculously analytical. So like I'll get an idea and then I'll go back and I'm like specking it out like linearly. How does this work? And where does this go? And is it a spider web? And who's going to want to watch it? What's the audience? Is that going to, and then I'll come back and like, okay, I'm ready. We can test it. And everyone else is like, okay. But I think the fact that we all had different creative processes gave us a different take on the elements. And so we were able to create something that was unique and had a special voice that you don't see everywhere.
I'll piggyback off Kevin. Mine is pretty much the same. Like my notes app is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can go to Starbucks. I can be in the car. I'm listening to a song. It literally takes nothing. And like he said, you'll sit in front of your computer and you're like, okay, what do I do now? But then you'll walk outside, and I'm a people watcher. I love people. So I'm looking at people all day, and a storyline will just drop on me because they're standing there. Like I saw two people at Starbucks one day ordering a coffee, and I just thought they were cute. And there goes whole storyline. And somebody else would be like, what is that? You know, but it's definitely a gift from God, because it's not easy.
Not at all. And I love how all of y'all's creative process, like there's some similarities, but also some differences. You have like super like freestyle, free flowing, you know, like Kevin, Patrice, but then Damien is more analytical. And I do think you need that balance, because I always say like, because I also too am kind of like a just creative, like all over the place, but I love working with people who have, kind of honed their analytical side a little bit more, because it helps to reel you in. So when you're flying off the handle, like, honestly, y'all, I think we should go to space tomorrow. They're like, okay, that's cute, but first, step one, let's do XYZ. So I love the balance of your team, and you can see that, in the project. So that's really cool how that came through. Joy of Autumn says, the Wright family, have you thought about doing a book about the military experience? I'm a military kid too. There are children who relate to that story of moving around a lot or just making friends in new places. I think there's just so many stories to tell about being a military family. So is that, in the pipeline for you all, the Wright family?
Yes, exactly. Like, I totally agree with Joy of Autumn. Like, the military family, military life. I grew up a military child. My husband is military. I'm former military. So it definitely was like a huge part of the process. And it's going to be more to come for sure. So I think that military children are not really acknowledged enough as they should be, because moving from city to city every 3 years is like a huge toll on a child. For me growing up from 1 year old all the way up until I was 14, I moved to different school every 3 years. So I had to get accumulated with being the new student, meeting new friends in new cities and new states with new cultures. Like, I was born in Panama, then I went to Colorado, then I went to Arizona, then I went to Texas, then Atlanta, then Miami. So like, and then Germany. So from going from Germany to Miami, it's like, that would be such a great series, Joy of Autumn. I think we really need to dig into that, because the military child is definitely very unique and a very special child for sure. So yes, I love it.
I just want to acknowledge the parental snap. You got somebody
I'm trying to get everybody to get quiet.
And didn't break. Did not break character at all. It was like, and so anyway.
And didn't even look away either. It was like she was on the computer, hand over here. I was like,
I was the only one caught that snap.
No, I did not know y'all caught that snap.
We caught it.
Buddy, I was trying to
we all know.
Damian, you already know. Come on now, you had your children right there. I'm weak.
And we saw Damian. I think those were your kids earlier. I saw somebody on screen with you earlier. I love it. Kids.
Yeah, the one who's like, it's hot. I don't wear clothes in summer, so she's like, I'm here.
I love it.
We gotta be real,
Right?
Is definitely a thing. So we love it.
We have one more question from Smooth and Move. They want to know, how do we purchase this book? I think Damian touched on this a little bit earlier about, these are testing episodes. They are doing beta tests right now. They are on the YouTube, which the link for that will drop in the comments again. But is there any other way besides like sharing those links with their friends and families that they can support this? If there's, I don't know if you guys have any crowdfunding or anything like that, but just let us know all the ways that we should be supporting.
So I'll just jump in really quickly because I've been in the comments. So I dropped the link to Shay's Instagram page specifically for the book, and she has an Amazon store, the Wright Family Amazon store, where you can purchase the books. Please do. They are very beautiful, very colorful. I've also tagged Shay's announcement post. So we just want to drive the Netflix, the Hulus. I saw Disney in the comment and Cartoon Network. Tag whoever, because you never know who's watching. And so who we can have a conversation with to continue this. And then I also dropped the Knowledge Bloom channel. So if you want to watch it, or like Essence said, like, please share with the family, please share with the kids, send us feedback, send us reaction videos of children watching it. All this information is helpful as we develop it. Share it with your babysitter, put it on your baby's iPad, do all of those things. So everything is in the chat, and thank you so much for coming, for sure.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for engaging with us and dropping your comments, questions, for taking time out of your Saturday to watch this series. Again, please click all the links, support. This is really, really great. This is an opportunity for us to all come together and show that there is power in numbers when we support each other. So yes, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for tuning in. I would like to shout out Logic as the producer behind the scenes. You haven't seen him on camera. He is the owner of iRant Network. So all the graphics and transitions and all of that you're seeing just happened. That someone is doing that. So shouts out to Logic, owner of iRant Network. So hit him up to produce your experience. Hit up our lovely panel. Everyone's handles will be in the description, I believe, or either in the comments. So hit them up if you need a creative director, if you need a producer, if you need a writer. These are people, and they do work, and they would like to get more opportunities. So make sure that we are just networking across. And thank you all so much. My information is also, I believe, somewhere in the comments. You can find me on Instagram, just Essence Gant, also essencegant.com. And if there is nothing else, we are out. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
Tell him your name, tell him your name. Word to you, she only one. I swear she's only one. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, N, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? It's Black Genius and AV. A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cute, but that's not all you are. D is for discipline, that's how you evolve. F is for failure, that leads to G, that's growth. H is when in harmony, then I's invincible. J is for the journey, that's the only way you'll know. L is for the love, the lesson learned, it comes and goes. N's for motivation, money doesn't matter most. N is for no, don't get caught up in the norms. Never overthink, cause you the only one you owe. P is for the power of a positive approach. Q is for the quipping quality of daddy's quotes. R is for respect, watch how you represent your role. Cause everyone won't judge you by the contents of your soul. Sometimes life gets scary and our troubles take a toll. Universal understanding is our compass through the void. W's for warrior, the blood of who you are. X don't really rhyme with much, let's just say xylophone. Z is for zen, reach the zenith of your zone. All the answers are inside you, just let go, there's no control. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, N, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?